Hey y'all, it is Becca from Beccas Gardening and Pantry, and we're bringing you another garden video. It is the 9th of December, 2025, Zone 9B, South Texas, and we're going to talk a little bit about raised beds. And if you're in-ground gardening with clay soil, like we are, we also just finally got some beautiful rain, about 7 inches on a couple of different days total. We haven't had rain here in quite some time. We're in a really bad drought. So the things I'm always trying to amend my soil and my raised beds with is really good ingredients to help hold that moisture. Biochar is one of those. Check it out. Look for it on clearance throughout the either end of the spring or late fall. A lot of times this will go on sale, different manufacturers, all the things. It's basically just wood that's been burnt down, but before it becomes ash, they put it out with water. So you can make this at home. Just get your wood, make a little fire, and as it becomes those charcoal bits, put it out with some water, and then that, after it's all cooled down, you can put that into your raised beds or your soil that you're going to till up. So we have hard packed clay here. We're constantly trying to each season till up as much organic matter as we can to keep adding back into the soil, to add back good nutrients for producing more worms, which are super hard to have here, and we are starting to see a lot more worms in our in-ground garden. This is our 9th year gardening spring and fall. This is going to hold moisture. This also has nutrients for your plants, and it helps aerate the soil. It is already broken down into like a flake, but don't worry that if your charcoal that you make from a fire is bigger chunks, don't worry about it. It's all good. Actually, the bigger the chunks, the more it holds the moisture, but you're gonna have to put a little bit more in of it. This is great because it's really nice to sprinkle in and mix in really well. Another thing I like to add, I like to start off my base of my raised beds like I have here with Scott's topsoil mix conditioner with peat moss. That extra peat moss really helps. There's a very minute bits of sand in it. You don't want too much sand when you have clay soil, because if you add like sand to your soil and it gets wet, you end up creating like a concrete mix. You don't want to add sand to your soil here if you don't have sandy loam in it. It's all hard packed clay. Don't add sand. Little minute bits like that is okay, because we're adding other things in. I like to add in peat moss. I like to do like a 2 to 3 bags of Scott's topsoil conditioner with 1 to 2 bags of the peat moss. You can buy it in bigger ones. Sometimes it's just more convenient to grab the smaller bags. And this is a little bit hydrophobic, as you know. A lot of soil starter mixes are just like peat moss pellets, and it's really good to prevent gnats by adding, like rehydrating it with boiled water. Or you put it in like a tub, like a black tub outside, a tote, put your water in there, cover it, and leave it in the sun, and that will help kill off any larvae for gnats and things like that. So that does add some moisture back into your garden bed. But it is, like I said, if it dries out, like we're so super hot down here, it'll dry out and become hydrophobic. So then when you try to water things, it's going to take a while to like really soak in. It'll just kind of run off. So we add vermiculite, which is a natural sponge. It comes in different grades. So this is actually a really fine one, which is really nice. Depending on what you have, whatever's cheaper. There's some that come in a coarser, little squared. There's like fine, coarse, and medium. I feel like this holds a lot more moisture, as you have a lot of little ones spread out through your soil mixture. But like I said, whatever's cheaper, and then you can add more if you need to, if it's really dry. I don't add a ton of the vermiculite. It's more of like, I'll add 3 bags of Scott's topsoil to 1 bag of vermiculite, and this is, I don't know what this is, 8.8 liters. And so this is what helps hold the moisture a lot better, and this helps keep your peat moss from becoming hydrophobic. So this is actually really good to add in. If you're having problems with drainage and your raised bed or your in-ground garden is holding too much water, perlite is what you're gonna want to add to it. Depending on what your soil mix is like, you may need to add more for more drainage. You may not need to add much of this at all if you have a really sandy loam mix and everything is draining right through, because you don't want all your nutrients and things to drain away from your plants, and then you're constantly trying to add nutrients or fertilizer and things like that, and then you're wasting money. So hard packed clay I like to add as well. If I'm adding a bag of vermiculite, I add a whole bag of perlite. Now, someone brought to my attention that the Miracle-Gro perlite has fertilizer in it. I don't know when they added that, or I just missed it, or anyway. So if you don't want chemical fertilizers, you can buy this in bulk on Amazon. I get like 4.4 cubic feet or something like that, bags of it at a time, and it's anywhere from $50 to $60 for a huge bag. That goes really far. And I do that in my seed starter mixes. Another thing I like to add to our raised bed gardens and pots and planters is this cocoa core. It comes in hard bricks, and you just rehydrate it. I do the same thing I do with the peat moss. I add water to it, I put it in a big black tote, I put the cover on, and I let it get like solarized, so that there's not any kind of like bugs or gnats or anything like that. I thought they were coming later. Lovely, gorgeous mix of cocoa core. I buy bigger bricks of it. It's whatever your per ounce cost is. Go with whatever's the cheapest. Because trust me, if you're somewhere where it's super dry and it hardly rains, you're gonna want a lot of this stuff. I like to add, again, at least 2 bag size of cocoa core to 3 bags, 2 to 3 bags of Scott's topsoil with the peat moss in it, the conditioner, topsoil conditioner. So I'll add 1 to 2 bags of this, 1 to 2 bags full of my cocoa core that's been rehydrated, a bag of vermiculite, a bag of perlite, and this is something I've been hesitant to add because it's just, you know, it's another added expense and we just haven't had time. So I try to catch this when it's on clearance. I got this on clearance. I forget how much it was. It runs about $15 for this bag, and honestly, this goes pretty far. So we're gonna add this to our lettuce bed right now. And if you haven't had time to make compost, and I've opened every single bag of soil mix. Most of them are crap. Most of them just have too much bark in it, which sucks nitrogen away from your plants. This is Nature's, okay, it's called Near Source Organics All Natural Raised Bed Container Mix. So this is a soil bag. It's about $7 from Home Depot. They probably have it at Lowe's too. Check. But I usually get this at Home Depot, and it's really good composted down organic matter. So you might be low on fertilizer, you might be low on compost, and you need to add some compost in, and you're not ready to go buy like a big bulk thing of it. This is what I use, and I just sprinkle a little bit in. So let's show you guys my lettuce. Uncover it, And these are laundry stainless steel clips and just some clear garden netting. This keeps the birds out of my salad bowl mix. And I ended up having to sprinkle more seeds in here because this was, if you guys saw my lettuce video, this was some older seeds, so I just have little sparse different ones about. So I'm going to add a little bit of my compost because it needs it. Just a sprinkle. I did just recently sprinkle some more seed in here. I think just before the rain came, so I was hoping it would have, like a little bit of it's starting to pop up. We'll see. Got a volunteer tomato plant in here. Add our biochar. Like I said, just sprinkle it in, and then we're going to just mix it in. So I'm going to do about a 1/4 inch layer. Only because I haven't put this in here before. This was a brand new bed I mixed up, I think this year. We're going to mix this in. Lettuce needs a good amount of water anyway, and so do any plants I really kind of grow in here. This bed can dry out pretty quick. The more organic matter you can add, the better. That also helps hold some moisture. So there's that. Alright, so we're just gonna kind of rake it in a little bit with our fingers. Like I said, I sprinkled some seeds in here, so I don't want this to be burying the seeds I just sprinkled too deeply, especially since it's lettuce seed. Kind of rake it around. Transplant it here. Got some little ones. these are too close together, so I'm just gonna spread them out a little bit. Sometimes I grab a spoon. That makes it a little bit easier. So you don't have, you can just pick it up and kind of shake it off a little bit so they separate without breaking the roots. And then just pinch it back in and spread it out a little bit. If you guys have any comments, add them down below when I upload this to YouTube. Like, share, and subscribe. It really helps out. I keep trying to put up some videos to show you guys how to grow more food in your backyard, a little yard. If you have a little balcony or something like that too, this would be perfect in some little pots. Give these babies a little bit more space. Think of square foot gardening. Looks like I spaced everybody out pretty good for now. And then just water it in. So we're just gonna lightly sprinkle that in. Gently. And then just cover her back up. I don't bother uncovering this when I water. I'll just leave it covered and water right through. It's perfect. The only thing I worry about is like if we're gonna have a freeze or a frost coming, then I'll pull my blanket cover, frost cover. It's a heavy duty one that's lets a little bit of light and airflow, but it's mostly like waterproof, and it helps prevent damage if you're gonna get hail, which could occasionally happen here. So for the most part, I leave this covered up, and I just come back and depending on how hot or dry it is, I'll water this at least in the morning and once again in the evening, because lettuce just loves water. So, but I might be able to get away with just watering it maybe once a day. It's kind of cloudy, not super hot right now, and I've added the charcoal, so we'll see how that helps hold some better moisture in this area. Lots of birds and squirrels here, and they just love everything I'm trying to grow here, especially flowers. Mostly it's the birds. The birds will come and eat all of our greens, any kind of greens. If it's more of like a squash, pumpkin kind of plant, the birds usually tend to leave it alone, but they love all the brassicas, the greens, the dandelions, anything that's beautiful and succulent. So we try to plant some other things in our yard that the birds will eat on, like purslane. Oh, what's the other one? I just had it on the tip of the top of my head, my tongue. What was it? Oh, I planted it here. Purslane. Yeah, purslane. Anyway, purslane grows here all the time. It can be quite invasive as a weed, so I kind of wish I hadn't planted so much of it. Even though I didn't plant a lot of it, the seed spread a lot. But the birds will eat it. And then, yeah, so we have stuff that we try to plant for the birds. We have some flowers we try to plant for the bees. I try to let some things pollinate, or go to seed, like our basil. Our basil is going to seed right now. So the bees are coming by and loving on the basil. The fruit tree, our Meyer lemon tree, is blossoming right now. I'll bring it in for a freeze. The bees are coming by for that. And our banana trees in the back are also have like little banana blossoms under the leaves, so the bees are coming. So I have some things for the bees right now. Springtime I try to plant flowers and things like that, but depending on what the squirrels are like, they tend to run off with most of our flowers, which is quite hilarious. But I would love more flowers, so I'm trying to find different ground covers that flower. There was a dwarf Katy Ruellia. I think that would be a good choice here. It seems to do really well as a shrubbery kind of plant, and I was looking more for something that isn't something I'm gonna have to keep trimming and cutting back, and I thought that would be a really good maybe ground cover in a few areas. Like I said, it doesn't rain here a whole lot, so it shouldn't be as invasive as other places. The Ruellia can spread pretty prolifically if you are somewhere where it's raining a lot more often. So put down in the comments and let me know, what kind of ground covers are you seeing in more of a drought area in Zone 9B that you're planting that make it through kind of our droughts that we can not water super often. Because I'm looking at like the blue creeper, I think blue star creeper. There was a few other ones I was looking at. Yeah, so hit me up in the comments. Let me know. I'd love to know what you can grow that has like a low ground cover flowering that's drought tolerant for like Zone 9B. And something that doesn't get super tall, because some of these like ground covers can get like 13 inches tall. And I want it to be like under 8 inches tall, so it's not considered a weed, and then the city would drive by and say, hey, it needs to be mowed down, and I don't want to mow it. So I'm looking for low ground covers besides clover, because clover can just end up everywhere, and then it's super hard to manage because it stays juicy. It's a mess. So I don't recommend planting clover here personally. I did that and I still have clover popping up everywhere. So be careful with what you plant. A lot of people didn't have a lot of experience here to talk to with gardening, and so I've learned some things here all by myself through experiment and things like that. But yeah, I just hope you guys like this video on how to grow a nice lettuce bed, salad bowl mix. Sprinkle any kind of salad mix you want out here, any kind of salad, lettuce, greens. The Paris Island does really well. There was another one, Pablo's lettuce. It's like a purple and green lettuce, is really pretty. Any of the romaines do well, the freckled lettuce, the red lettuces, the mesclun mixes, arugula. I did sprinkle out a salad mix. I'm not sure what some of these are. It came from M.I. Gardener, so I'm really curious what that is. And I have some dandelion greens in the back raised bed. But I'll try to bring another video update about our carrots that I planted. I'm having oral surgery before Christmas. I've been in a lot of pain, so I haven't made a ton of videos, but I just wanted to update you guys before I started feeling all loopy and crazy, and it's going to take me a while to heal from this. It's kind of a big surgery. I have my Etsy shop open, Beccas by the Bay, if anyone wants to help out with this. It's on Etsy, Beccas by the Bay, goat milk soaps, and things like that, so I ship almost worldwide, depending on what the tariffs are and things like that. So the shipping can be higher for different areas. And then I'm based in the US, of course. And then yeah, I have a GoFundMe up, so I'll put that if anyone's interested in helping me out. We had some car accidents a few years back where I was hit, and it's caused a lot of dental issues that we're now coming to the final end of it and getting the last of my teeth pulled to remediate all this pain and stuff I've been going through. So anywho, real life stuff's been going on, and I haven't made a lot of videos because of that. It's hard to smile and pretend like everything is fine. But yeah, so I'm trying to put up some videos, like, share, subscribe, about home gardening, things that you can grow really easily, cheaply, and affordably. You can make your own biochar. You do not have to go buy it, but if it's on clearance, sometimes it's just really nice to pick it up, and it's a convenience. A lot of times we get burn bans here, and we can't burn in our fire pit and things like that, so, or it's too windy, all the things. Yeah, thanks for hanging out with me in my front yard garden lettuce bed. And like I said, I'll just cover this up if there's a freeze or frost coming, and then I uncover it when the temperatures warm up, and this will last me, this whole bed will fill up with lettuce, and I can harvest off of it every day, a couple of times a day, for several months until spring hits and it gets really hot. When it starts to get above 78 degrees, the lettuce turns bitter, and then it's just no good. Doesn't matter what we do, it's time to pull it and put tomato plants in. So happy fall gardening. If you're still fall gardening right now, you can still put a few things in the ground. There goes bird. And love you guys. See you in the next video. It will be a carrot update on how we thin them out and how they're doing. They're doing fabulous. This weather's been perfect. Love you. Bye.